Welcome everyone to today's Explainer. If you felt like the digital marketing landscape has been completely turned upside down over the last few weeks, trust me, you are absolutely not alone. Today we're breaking down the sudden chaos of these massive new AI platform updates, and more importantly, the exact strategies you need to take back control of your SEO. It can really feel like we're just constantly reacting to whatever the tech giants decide to roll out next, right? But by looking at the hard data, we can actually chart a very clear, highly strategic path forward. Let's get into it.
Think of this as your marketer survival guide to the AI era. Here is our agenda for today. First, invisible AI watermarks. Then, the truth about ChatGPT ads, future-proofing your SEO, Google's secret writing lesson, and finally, mastering AI search visibility.
Okay, let's dive into Section 1, Invisible AI Watermarks.
So thanks to the EU's new AI Act, a massive transparency shift just happened, and it has immediate implications for content creators everywhere. Anthropic is now embedding invisible watermarks in every single Claude output using something called the C2PA Open Standard. This is basically a technical format adopted by major players like Google, Meta, Microsoft, and OpenAI that attaches signed provenance metadata to files. But for text, Claude's invisible watermark is literally baked directly into the generated words. And here's why this absolutely matters for you. You won't see it, but this watermark travels when you copy and paste. It might even survive light editing. If you write a brilliant original draft, but use Claude just to quickly proofread it, the platform still marks the whole thing as AI processed. To a client, an employer, or a detection tool, that nuance doesn't exist. It just flags as AI. You've got to be incredibly deliberate about how you use these tools for published work from now on.
Moving right along to Section 2, the truth about ChatGPT ads.
From silent watermarks, we move to loud, unavoidable platform monetization. To really grasp the scale of the chaos we're dealing with this week, we have to look at OpenAI's incredibly rapid rollout of ChatGPT ads. According to a massive study by SE Ranking, they analyzed over 50,000 commercial prompts. ChatGPT is currently serving an ad on roughly 26% of all commercial queries. That is a huge volume for a platform feature still in its early rollout phase, running dangerously close to the 29.5% rate we've seen in Google's AI mode. But while the sheer volume is high, the execution, well, it's deeply flawed.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the brutal failure rate of ChatGPT's targeting. Because the system uses natural language context hints instead of traditional exact keywords, it routinely stretches way too far. Overall, about 14% of these ads have absolutely no meaningful connection to the query. But look at these specific niches. Over 51% of ads in the relationship space are completely off-topic. And in news and politics, a staggering 54.2% mismatch. No way, right? If you are an advertiser buying into this right now without careful verification, you're practically setting your budget on fire.
But honestly, targeting isn't even the biggest issue for B2B marketers here. The structural flaws are massive. Right now, ChatGPT ads only reach free and Go plan users. That means if your target demographic includes professionals, business owners, or enterprise buyers who are overwhelmingly on those paid Plus, Pro, or Enterprise plans, they literally aren't seeing your ads at all. Furthermore, in an astonishing 96% of ad placements, the advertiser is not even cited as a source in the organic AI answer sitting right above the ad. The vital takeaway here is that your organic AI visibility and your paid placements are completely separate beasts. They desperately require completely separate strategies.
Let's pivot over to Section 3, Future-Proofing Your SEO.
So if paid AI ads are a mess and AI text is being aggressively watermarked, how do we actually take back control? Surviving these algorithm shifts definitely doesn't mean endlessly chasing unpredictable loopholes. Let's move to and see how this builds a rock-solid foundation, using Dan Taylor's excellent de-risking strategy. Remember, modern Google runs on machine learning and user behavior signals, not fixed rules. To insulate yourself, focus on these 4 highly practical areas. First, maintain a spotless technical setup so bots can crawl without friction. Second, lean heavily into EEAT. Experience, expertise, authoritativeness, and trustworthiness. Absolutely do not publish raw, unedited AI content at scale. Third, obsess over your user experience to cut those bounce rates, because Google's Nav Boost system tracks user clickstream data over a rolling 13-month window. And finally, earn your links through digital PR and original research. Don't buy them. Doing this naturally compounds your real authority over time.
All right, Section 4, Google's secret writing lesson. Now, you might be wondering what high-quality EEAT content actually looks like in practice. Well, Roger Monti recently found a brilliant show-don't-tell example buried right inside Google's own documentation rewrite. So the crucial point is exactly how Google edits its own work. They recently took this vague generality, responds quickly for a while, and ruthlessly edited it down to responds consistently and its response times remain stable or improve. They cut the fluff, right? They swapped out general descriptions for hyper-specific direct language. This perfectly reveals the exact editorial style that Google's own machine learning systems are trained to reward.
As part of this rewrite, Google also actively eliminated what Monty calls reading road bumps. You know those poorly structured sentences that introduce two clashing ideas, forcing you to do a mental stop just to figure out the context? Cutting out that filler and eliminating those road bumps is absolutely vital. Why? Because Google's natural language systems are built to approximate human comprehension. If a sentence forces a human to pause and reread, it disrupts the AI processor in the exact same way. Clean, direct structure is quite literally a ranking signal.
Which brings us to our final section, Mastering AI Search Visibility.
That absolute need for precise language ties perfectly into our final concept today, because how you structure your text is directly linked to how your content is retrieved, understood, and cited by AI search engines. And this brilliantly illustrates Cyrus Shepard's matrix, proving a massive point. 90% of your AI visibility relies on flawlessly executing traditional SEO fundamentals. You don't need some exotic new trick. Want AI to crawl you? Audit your robots.txt and firewalls? So many marketing teams don't realize their tech teams accidentally blocked AI bots globally. Want citations? Format your headings to directly answer subqueries and back your claims up with hard data. Want to be recommended? Keep your brand facts totally consistent across every platform and aggressively earn real customer reviews. Strong hygiene does the heavy lifting here.
So the overarching theme today is control. Yes, the platforms are incredibly volatile right now. Yes, watermarks are changing the rules of the game, and early ad rollouts are super clumsy. But the foundational elements of digital authority, they haven't changed. They've only become more strict. Don't let these daily AI changes dictate your visibility. If you are serious about mastering your strategy, cutting through the noise, and taking real control of your search presence based on hard data, make sure to visit serplabseo.com. It's your ultimate high-intent resource for staying ahead of all these massive platform shifts.
I want to leave you with this final, provocative thought as we wrap up this explainer. Look at your content calendar and your technical roadmap for the next quarter and ask yourself honestly, are you just chasing the algorithm, or are you actually building the authority that the algorithm is desperately trying to find? Focus on the latter, and you won't just survive the AI era, you'll dominate it. Thanks so much for joining me today, and I'll catch you in the next one.